Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. This is Mr. Chandler here, and welcome to what will be one of hopefully not so many installments of an online lesson for you guys. Now, as you noticed from last week, you did read an article about apartheid, and that was mainly about collecting text evidence and collecting information to kind of help you with those questions. But the topic for this week is mainly going to be about um, main idea and supporting details and how you can kind of culminate that together into a summary. Just as always, make sure that you are completing your 30 minutes a day in iReady in both reading and math. You're completing the chomped articles, you're completing your STEM list, you're completing the exercises for the article for this week, and also make sure that you have completed the web quest assignment that I posted on Google Classroom. So without further ado, let's go ahead and review main idea and supporting details. So screen share. Okay, hopefully you're able to see the screen, and if not, I'll edit that in post. But this is just an overview of main idea that we had covered before at the beginning of the year. And if you were in my enrichment, you have already had this lesson multiple times, but once more, it's not going to hurt. So going back through here. A little bit slow, but here we go. Okay, so finding the main idea in fiction, or excuse me, in nonfiction passages. Click. Okay. Don't worry about copying everything that's in red. You already have these notes in hand from your composition notebooks. If your composition notebooks are still at school, you still have access to all the notes in Google Classroom. So your main idea is essentially what you're trying to get across to your reader. It's the big point. It's like the main not exactly main purpose. That's its own distinct lesson itself, but more so, what are you trying to tell me? Like, if you were to come across me on the street and you're trying to tell me a story, how would you sum that up in roughly 5 sentences? Because again, we're all very busy. Not nowadays, but normally we would be very busy, and so we have this idea of brevity and this idea of getting your point across very efficiently. So your main idea can be something as simple as why doctors deserve more dollars. And this can often be the title itself, but as you're going to see, it can rely on a few more supporting details other than that. So think of your main idea like a roof. It's just enough to cover everything, but not too big to where it's going to overshadow your main idea, your supporting details in this case. Think of it like the Goldilocks complex. It's not too hot, it's not too cold, it's just right. And that's how your main idea needs to be, and that's how you need to get that point across whenever you're telling a summary as well. So if you're telling me what happened uh, yesterday, don't rely on just one or two things, because then you're not giving enough information, you're leaving people confused. There may be some underlying questions that come as a result of that, but you don't want to go into so much detail to where it's just overwhelming. Again, try to find that good middle ground there. Your supporting details, again, as the name implies, they support your information. They help bolster it back up. So if you want to use another analogy, you can think of your main idea as a table and your supporting details as a table of legs. Right? They each carry their own individual pieces that kind of help support and help keep everything risen. But it's not the main emphasis, because your main emphasis would be the table itself. Your main idea is general. It's not super specific. That's what your supporting details are for. So as we mentioned before earlier in the year, which word being the most general, potato or vegetable? Well, it would typically be vegetable because that's more broad. It could cover a whole litany of things between carrots, peas, green beans. Potato would be more specific because you're talking about a very specific type of vegetable. And of course, you've seen this chart before as well, where we're talking about something that's general, like vegetables or fruit, compared to something that's a little bit more specific, like the specific types of items in those lists. And then you can be even more specific if you want to really get into the nitty gritty of like different things, like different types of apples or different types of cherries. Again, you can be as specific as you want there, but as long as you encompass an idea that's general, then there's no confusion later on. Your topic is where you're even more broad. It's the general subject that can really be expressed in one word or one phrase. Again, this is where you're going to have the most confusion whenever you present uh, your story to somebody. So again, if you came across me on the street and I asked you, okay, how was your day? And you just said swimming. Okay, well, where'd you go swimming at? Um, was anybody with you? Did you have fun? Again, that creates so much ambiguity there. But if you start to expand that a little bit and provide details about that, then it becomes a little more understandable. And of course, I'm not going to ask like for every detail about that because again, we're all very busy. So as you can see, a fluency story you are reading. What's the topic? So think about what you were previously reading for your 30 BCs, or if you were in the middle of reading Unwind or To Kill a Mockingbird, there could be just very general topics in there like life in the 1930s for To Kill a Mockingbird or dystopian future for Unwind. And your topic sentence indicates what it's about. Your topic sentence, you can typically have that in the first sentence here, like as but you may even find it later on, like if you have somebody who provides an attention grabber or they're really trying to uh, build up their essay. So think back to your argumentative essays at the beginning of the year where you had to provide a thesis statement. Your thesis statement would, of course, be your topic sentence in this case, but you didn't put that at the very beginning. You put that at the end of your first paragraph. So it's going to vary a little bit. Your supporting details should provide the who, what, when, where, why, and alternatively how of your story. So you need to tell me, okay, who was involved, what happened, when did it take place, where did it take place, why did it happen, and again, if you want to go the extra level, how did it happen? And they provide the value in the main idea. So if you have a main idea that seems to be lacking, then you need to help bolster it up with those supporting details. It will be just like if you're eating at a diner and you're at a table that has a wobbly leg. Well, one of those supporting details is not really helping you, so you need to fix it. So in this case, homeless people have many problems. In winter, it's hard to stay warm and it gets too hot in the summer. It's also hard to keep things safe without a home. Worse, it's a lack of privacy. So we do have, as you can see in green, those supporting details which help out our main idea, which is homeless people have many problems, as we established earlier. And this, of course, would be the best way to help organize your main idea and supporting details. This simple, for lack of a better phrase, a spider chart, even though it doesn't have 8 limbs. You can still see your main ideas in the center, and it's helped and supported by those supporting details. It's helped bolstered up in this case. And so we've already read this paragraph before. There's no need to get into the nitty gritty of it. And you probably know who said this anyways, but there's no real organization behind it. There's no real idea of like what the main idea is. You have a lot of sentences, but they don't really support what's going on here. Normal passages do have main ideas. So if that seems a little bit incoherent, then it's okay because that's not the norm. So we're going to go ahead and rely on a more topical, but in a good way, a good news article would kind of help alleviate things because I know things have been kind of stressful recently. So right offhand, coronavirus, Krispy Kreme giving out free donuts to healthcare workers. That's our title, and of course we have our subheading here. Near that, don't need to register. American company pledges free donuts to all healthcare workers until May. Oh, it's okay. Sorry about that. Anyways, so coronavirus, Krispy Kreme giving out free donuts to healthcare workers. Again, that's our title. We can see that this was posted 13 hours ago by our author, which is Olivia Petter. And this is not very long, so it's going to be kind of easy to give the main idea here. Krispy Kreme has announced they'll be offering free donuts to all U.S. healthcare workers battling the ongoing coronavirus outbreak until May. That seems like our topic sentence. That's perfect. We're going to keep that in mind here. From March 30th, again, this is written from the UK, so their organization there is a little backwards. American company has said that any healthcare worker using one of its drive-through services will be entitled to a free box containing a dozen of its original glazed donuts. Just go to a Krispy Kreme drive-through, tell us what you need, and show us your employer badge. That's it, the company said in the statement. Pick up some free donuts on the way to work for you and your colleagues, or maybe a free dozen on your way home to family after a long shift. In addition to providing healthcare workers with free treats, Krispy Kreme has also vowed to give its regular customers a free dozen original glazed donuts every Saturday if they've already purchased an order of a dozen donuts. Excellent. We're going to help our customers share joy with their neighbors because being separated doesn't mean we can't be sweet, the company added. No pun intended. The company clarified that all of its donuts will be securely packaged to ensure they were safe to consume, and thousands of free donuts on Saturdays will be securely sealed and bagged individually, along with instructions for contactless drop-off, including social distancing and safety guidelines. The news comes after Starbucks announced it would also be giving free coffee to healthcare workers in addition to others working on the front line of the coronavirus outbreak. Up until May 3rd, the coffee company is offering a free tall brew to police officers, firefighters, paramedics, doctors, nurses, and other hospital staff. And of course, you can see this embedded tweet here. However, with the majority of Starbucks shops in the U.S. having been forced to close due to lockdown regulations, there are a limited number of ways for people to access their free coffees. Those seeking to claim their complimentary beverage will either have to order online or via one of the Starbucks drive-thrus. Okay, so as I said, this is not a very long article, at least compared to the other ones you guys have read in class, but we can still determine what the main idea is here. So just to kind of model this, I'm going to create a graphic organizer for our main idea. So shapes. Let's get a nice little circle in here. Whoop. Perfect. Yep. Text box, include in here. All right, perfect. Test that out. Good. Okay, so this is where you always need to go back and refer back to the article just to help understand what the main idea is. And so, as I mentioned, I feel like the topic sentence here is perfect as far as your general main idea. Krispy Kreme has announced they'll be offering free donuts to all U.S. healthcare workers battling the ongoing coronavirus outbreak until May. I want you to put this in your own words. So Krispy Kreme has announced it'll be offering free donuts. So you can say Krispy Kreme will be offering free donuts to healthcare workers until May. And you can see it's just enough to cover everything in here. But of course, you need to boost it up with your supporting details. So we go back into Google Drawing, add in our lines, whoop, and whoop, and whoop. Let's get 5 in there. That sounds like a good number. Okay. And of course, I'm no Khan Academy, so just bear with me as I work through that. So back to the article. Okay. So one thing to consider would be when. So from March 30th, we have that here up to May 3rd. Actually, no, that's a Starbucks one. Never mind. So from March 30th. So we can say, hey, this will take place from March 30th. Good. Okay. Let's go ahead and add in another text box here. So it would be a free box containing a dozen. So this gives us a specific amount. And we can confirm it was their original, the original glazed donuts. So I wouldn't really be looking for like anything too fancy for that. Okay. Let's go ahead and add another one. We can talk about why this is going on. Say this is in support of healthcare workers who are combating coronavirus. Perfect. Let's go ahead and discuss a little bit further here. What else do we see? Krispy Kreme has also vowed to give its regular customers a free dozen original glaze every Saturday if they've already purchased an order of a dozen donuts. So essentially, like a buy one, get one free in this case. So you can say, go ahead and add this text box here. They're also offering free dozen on Saturday to customers who have already purchased. Okay. Let's get one more detail in here too. Thousands of free donuts on Saturday will be securely sealed and bagged individually, along with instructions for contactless drop-off. Okay, that sounds perfect. That gives an idea of how it connects to the coronavirus. So here. Free donuts. Refer back to the text here. Securely sealed and bagged individually. So we can say these free donuts will be safely provided for healthcare workers. Move that up a little bit. And that's it. So again, so our main idea in this article was Krispy Kreme will be offering free donuts to healthcare workers until May. Our supporting details kind of encompassing more of when, where, and why in this case, but it still gives some semblance of supporting our information. Krispy Kreme is offering a free dozen of their original glaze, This will take place on March 30th. This is in support of healthcare workers who are combating coronavirus. They're also offering a free dozen on Saturday to customers who already have purchased a dozen. The free donuts we safely provided for healthcare workers. Again, so main idea, just to help wrap everything up, is your foundation. It's what you use to help summarize the entire passage. And your supporting details are your way to kind of help give more specific information just in case you need more clarity, just in case there are still some remaining questions about what you're reading. Let's stop share here. So again, if you have any questions regarding what you just seen here, or if you just have any questions pertaining to your assignments this week, feel free to reach me by email at jchandler@alexander.k12.nc.us. As always, make sure you guys are washing your hands, maintaining a good social distance, and above all, just following the guidelines established by the CDC and World Health Organization. Thank you.